Elon Musk's SpaceX has been one of the leading companies that specialize in manufacturing spacecraft and aerospace in general. But because it's headed by Musk, not a lot of people are big fans of it. Honestly speaking, other aerospace companies deserve the same media exposure SpaceX is getting. In line with this, we're sharing with you a list of 10 companies you should be watching instead of SpaceX, so stay tuned for more. Without further ado, here's a comprehensive list of 10 space companies that are SpaceX's competitors. For starters, we have Blue Origin. Jeff Bezos, the creator of Amazon and the richest man in the world, founded Blue Origins in 2000. Its headquarters are in Kent, Washington, and it's one of the top manufacturers of aircraft equipment. To finance Blue Origin, Bezos sold around $1 billion worth of Amazon stock. Even though the company employs more than 2,500 people, its annual revenue is only $20 million. The U.S. Space Force, DARPA, NASA, and other SpaceX rivals like United Launch Alliance all work together with Blue Origin. Bezos, his brother Mark, and 2 other crew members made their first trip into space aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket in June 2021, wherein the 11-minute suborbital flight was completed. 2 space trips are planned for 2021 by the company, which intends to operate frequent space tourism flights. A seat on the upcoming aircraft cost $28 million to be won by an unknown bidder. Due to this accomplishment and Amazon's substantial financial resources, Blue Origin is SpaceX's main rival. Next, we have the Virgin Galactic. Richard Branson, a British entrepreneur, launched Virgin Galactic, a spaceflight manufacturer with headquarters in Las Cruces, New Mexico, in 2004. It produces both commercial and suborbital spacecraft and is a member of the Virgin Group. In terms of technological advancement, the company is on par with Blue Origins and SpaceX. But compared to the top competitors, its revenue is lower. Virgin Galactic is not lucrative. In contrast to SpaceX, the company lost $210 million in 2020. Branson traveled 53 miles into space in June 2021 on a Virgin Galactic rocket before safely landing at the spaceport. It was the first completely crewed test spaceflight for the rocket. Before starting regular commercial operations in 2022, Virgin Galactic wants to conduct at least 2 additional test flights in 2021 for $250,000 each. 600 affluent space enthusiasts have already reserved their seats. Although it's less expensive than Blue Origin, Branson hopes to reduce the cost to roughly $40,000 per seat. SpaceX cannot compete with Virgin Galactic when it comes to space tourism. Moving on, we have United Launch Alliance, or ULA. ULA, a joint venture between Boeing and Lockheed Martin for the production of rockets, was established in 2006 and has its headquarters in Centennial, Colorado. The business performs orbital space flights, makes rockets, and offers launch services. ULA had over 2,500 employees and generated $2 billion in revenue in 2020. The relationship ULA has with Boeing and the US government gives it a significant competitive advantage. ULA received contracts for the most expensive military satellite launches in the US for roughly 10 years. SpaceX notably sued the US Air Force in 2014 over a contract that was only given to ULA. To avoid legal problems, the US military now grants several contracts to ULA and SpaceX through competition. SpaceX's main opponent and longest-running competition is ULA. Then there's also Rocket Lab, based in Long Beach, California. Rocket Lab is a privately held aerospace manufacturer and provider of small satellite launch services. It was established in 2006. NASA and the US Space Force, it has multiple contracts for small-sat launches. About 2020, Rocket Lab's launch business brought in $33 million. The company expects to generate $127 million in revenue in 2021. Rocket Lab's sophisticated satellite launch services are its key differentiator. The Electron rocket's failure to reach orbit on May 15, 2021, damaged Rocket Lab's credibility. Rocket Lab was able to win back the confidence of its clients in July 2021 by successfully launching a US military site. 21 mission flights have been accomplished by Rocket Lab's Electron launch vehicle since 2017. However, Electron can only transport lightweight satellites up to 440 pounds. Costing about $7 million, the Electron mission is less expensive than SpaceX. The main rival to SpaceX for small-sat launches is Rocket Lab. And now, we move on to Northrop Grumman. 90,000 people work for the aerospace expert Northrop Grumman, which was founded in 1994 and is based in Falls Church, Virginia. It is a major producer of military equipment and weaponry around the globe. Orbital ATK was purchased by Northrop Grumman in June 2018 and integrated into its space systems. Northrop Grumman's foray into the space business was made possible by this acquisition. Northrop Grumman eclipses SpaceX and all other rivals with annual revenues of approximately $30 billion. Northrop Grumman focuses mostly on launching government satellites. For the U.S. Space Force, Northrop Grumman created a novel sensor payload that can identify missile launches on August 5, 2020. The Space Force also chose Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin to build 3 next-gen OPIR geosynchronous satellites. Due to its expertise, Northrop Grumman is a worthy rival to SpaceX. Up next, we have Arianespace. Arianespace was the first company to provide commercial launch services globally. It was established in 1980 in Azona, France. It uses the heavy-lift Ariane 5 for dual geo missions, the medium-lift Soyuz 2, and the smaller Vega. In 41 years, the business has launched more than 850 satellites, beginning with its first commercial mission in May 1984. Arianespace brought in around $1.2 billion in revenue for the 2020 fiscal year. The 21st century's heightened rivalry poses a threat to Arianespace. CEO Stefan Israel of Arianespace requested assistance from European governments in January 2021 from SpaceX and other American rivals. Despite these difficulties, Arianespace carried out 10 launches in 2020, and in 2021, it plans to carry out more than 1 launch each month. The main rival and alternate to SpaceX is Arianespace in the EU space market. Then we also have Astronis. A space firm called Astronis produces the next generation of communication satellites for less money than its rivals. It provides micro-geo satellites, which are smaller and less expensive geostationary communication satellites made to provide connectivity to specific locations on Earth. The company was established in 2014 and has its headquarters in San Francisco, California. Astronis raised $250 million in a Series C investment round in April 2021 at a valuation of $1.4 billion, bringing its total capital to more than $350 million. The distinctive micro-geo satellites that Astronis has are its key selling point. To deliver low-cost internet, SpaceX and other businesses construct satellite constellations in low Earth orbit. Astronis, on the other hand, concentrates on the GEO band. For large communication satellites in particular, its distinctive placement gives it an advantage. Compared to SpaceX's LEO constellations, Astronis's proposition is more focused, which is why one of SpaceX's top satellite launch alternatives is Astronis. Next, we also have Space Adventures. Spaceflight Adventures is a space tourism broker that arranges suborbital space flights for affluent clientele. It was founded in 1998 in Vienna, Virginia. 7 persons have received tickets on Russian Soyuz mission flights to the International Space Station, with the assistance of Space Adventures since 2001. The prices of its orbital trip packages range from $42 million to over $100 million. The business and Roscosmos are working on a contract that will send 2 customers to the space station in 2021. Space Adventures and Russian space officials struck a business agreement in April 2020 to carry 2 passengers to the space station in 2023. On to the next space company, we have the Society of European Satellites, SES. SES SA was established in Vienna, Virginia in 1998 as well. It operates more than 70 geostationary and medium Earth satellites and offers communications and data connectivity services. The business employs about 2,100 people and provides its services throughout the world. Its revenue for the entire year of 2020 fell by 5.44% to $1.6 billion, from $320 million in revenue in 2019 to $200 million in 2020. It saw a decline in net profit. SES is one of SpaceX's competitors in the satellite market with the most experience. More than 80% of the $1.7 billion to $1.8 billion in projected revenue for 2021 has already been committed to contracts. In 2021, the business anticipates making its first $1 billion from C-band repurposing. And finally, we have Relativity Space. Relativity Space is a small launch vehicle business with its headquarters in Luxembourg that produces aerospace gear for for-profit orbital launch services and was founded in 1985. Building parts for launch vehicles and rocket engines is done using 3D technology, and in the first half of 2021, Relativity Space raised $500 million and $650 million, increasing its total capital to more than $1.2 billion. About 400 people work for the company, and by the end of 2021, more than 200 more are anticipated. The company will invest $1.2 billion to build a new facility in 2021 and will occupy it by the beginning of 2022. It will hold mission control, 3D printer base, and more than 2,000 staff. A portion of the money will go into increasing the manufacture of its 3D printed Terran rocket. A rival rocket to SpaceX's Falcon 9 is being developed by Relativity Space, called Terran R. All in all, Relativity Space is one of the most valuable space startups and a rival to SpaceX, with a $4.2 billion valuation. With that, we're wrapping up today's video. Which company do you think is SpaceX's best competitor? Let us know in the comment section below. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. See you next time, and thanks for watching.